Good morning and welcome to Friday's broadcast on the Successful Salon Team Training Room. How is everybody? Drop me a little hello, a hands up. Let me know you're in the room. I've got an amazing chat for you guys today, which you are not going to want to miss. So it's Friday. How the hell did it get to Friday? Good morning, Sandy. It just feels like it was Monday, like yesterday. And then I've got my neighbours texting, don't forget to put the bins out. And I'm like, oh my God, it's Friday. It's just absolutely nuts. Good morning, Dolly. Happy Friday to you too. So the question on our lips today is, are your stylists truly happy? Do you know the answer to that? Good morning, Nicole, Liam and Tracy. You know, are they 110% truly happy inside of your business? Well, I have two amazing people that I have been introduced to by Mr. Andrew Barton, bless his soul. He was like, these guys are so cool. They've been working with us. And so he's made the introduction and I've fallen in love with them as much as he has. So without further ado, let me get them on. We are talking to Andy and Helen this morning, and I will let them do the introductions because I think they are just two gorgeous, gorgeous people. Good morning, Helen. Hi, Andy.
Good morning. How you doing? Thanks for that intro. Wow, no pressure.
No pressure at all.
That's amazing.
A little bit about you guys and the company that you own and what you do.
Oh, who's going first? We always have this problem, like we're like the worst double act ever. So I'm Helen. I'm obviously one of the co-founders, chief happiness officers, as we like to be called, of the Happy Learning Company. We've been running for it'll be 5 years next month, running the Happy Learning Company, which, I guess we don't want to give too much away because of our little session that we've got planned. But our purpose is to inspire and create happy workplaces all around the world, and we love it. So that's me.
I'm Andy, and yeah, just building on from what Helen said, really. I guess kind of a tiny bit of the backstory was, it was in sort of like trying to find our own happiness and our own purpose. And you know that thing that makes you want to wake up in the morning and you go, I bloody love my job. And we've always did love our job. We worked together in a previous company, and we did love our job, but there was something missing. And the more we kind of looked into happiness in the workplace and positive psychology and the drivers of happiness, we thought, this is it. This is the thing that kind of like will drive us personally to do our best work, but also we can kind of like sort of pass it on to the world as well in what we do through learning and engagement. So yeah, and it's last 5 years have been the 5 years of my working life. It's been amazing.
Oh, that's so cool, because it's so important to be happy at work, isn't it? Like, we spend more of our life with the guys that we work with than we do our own like husbands, wives and children.
Yeah, absolutely. And like a family, we get sucked into kind of the gossip and the kind of like the behind the door conversations and all the good times. We experience all of that with our work kind of colleagues, and our bosses have a huge impact on us. So the more we can do personally and as a company and as a leader to kind of create the right environment, right, the more kind of we'll have those feelings when we wake up and go, yeah, I'll do the job.
I think Andrew's in the house. I can't see that it is him, but it says, what these two wonderful people taught me, shared with me that happiness is a choice. What an amazing review to come from Andrew Barton.
Andrew, thanks.
And it is a choice, isn't it? We both, all of us, every morning have a choice. Every time we put that foot out of our bed and onto that floor, do we choose today to be happy or not? So, you guys have got an amazing presentation, so I'm going to share the screen for you and just let you guys crack on.
Thanks very much, Jen. Right, over to you, Helen.
Thanks, Jen. Let's kick it off. We say it's a presentation, but I guess I'm hoping you'll find it a presentation with a difference. And we wanted to share with you a little bit about what we call the happiness advantage. And I guess kind of leading on from our intro, we really we do believe, and through our own experiences, through the research that we've done in the science and psychology of happiness, that happiness really does offer an advantage in the workplace. And it's the key to success, whether that's your own personal success, the success of your teams and the individuals that work for you, the impact that you have on the customers that you serve, their happiness, and obviously your business success as well. So we wanted to start by, I guess, giving you a bit of a taster of the power of happiness at work in this session. Now, we often have people say to us, no, happiness has no place in the workplace. We've got serious things to be getting on with. Some people are a little bit cynical about happiness. If you are by chance one of those people, we've got some good news, I guess, for you. There is some breaking news this morning that a cure for happiness has been found. So we're going to share a little film with you to start with. Hopefully you'll see this.
The first ever prescription depressant hit the shelves today. Approved by the FDA last month, Despondex is intended as a treatment for the approximately 20 million Americans who are insufferably cheery. Tests prove the drug is effective at reducing a range of symptoms, from squealing loudly when a friend calls to use of the phrase cool beans and excessive hugging. Dr. Alman Way calls the drug a huge step forward in the battle against exuberance.
If you're in a good mood every so often, well, that's fine. That's normal. This is for those that have a persistent positive outlook on life.
Eva Henry of New Haven, Connecticut began participating in a clinical trial of Despondex 6 weeks ago.
I was always telling people how cute their outfits were and bringing them little gifts. I'd beam at anyone who made eye contact with me. I didn't realize life didn't have to be like that.
Eva said she never knew how her annoyingly chipper attitude was affecting those around her.
Over and over again, I'd ask Jeff to ride his bike down to the botanical garden with me, no matter how many times he said no.
And she was always smiling, but I didn't know what to do to help her.
I used to think, why am I the only one trying to set up single friends with each other? Now I realize it. I was sick. I needed treatment.
Eva says the drug may have saved their marriage.
Now Jeff and I can just waste a night sitting on the couch, watching a TV show neither of us enjoy, like a regular couple.
Not everyone is convinced that Despondex is the cure-all for perkiness, however. In this week's Time magazine, Michael Polosik of UCLA argues that many patients get similar results from natural remedies, something as simple as a diet of corn syrup and white bread and a total lack of exercise. But Dr. Way disagrees.
We have to erase the stigma attached with getting chirpy people help, real medical help. I mean, do you know what it's like to be around these people? It's pretty annoying.
Doctors estimate the new drug could reduce the number of costume or theme parties in the U.S. by up to 40%.
Okay, so hopefully, you can take that if you don't want to be so happy. If not, just stick with us a little bit. What we'd like to do, rather than tell you about the power of happiness, we thought we'd try and explore it together in the form of a quiz. So if you're up for a little bit of fun, let's do this slightly differently. So we're going to do the power of happiness quiz with you. Let's see how much you know about the power of happiness. And let's also see what we can learn through this quiz. So we're going to go through a variety of questions. You can answer each question A, B, or C. It would be great if you would share your answer in the comment function. We'll have a look at kind of what some of your answers are. That will be useful. If not, just write it down on a bit of paper. We're only going to give you maximum 5 seconds to answer, so don't overthink it. Let's have a go. Let's see how you get on and what you explore. So question 1. Sorry, over to you, Andy.
No worries. Oh, you can do it if you want.
Sorry, I probably took your stage.
Which of the following is an ancient Greek definition of happiness? So let's start with, what do we mean by happiness? Is it kind of A, subjective well-being, B, the experience of positive emotions, or C, the joy you feel striving towards your potential? So if you type in A, B, or C in the chat box, let's have a look at some of your answers.
Ooh. I mean, I'm not fluent in Greek.
We often look back to the ancient Greeks because they were the first to do many, many things, in terms of kind of philosophizing on life and stuff. So
Louis is saying B.
Oh, we got
Nikki's saying
majority
B.
of B,
Yeah,
B, B.
everyone's saying B.
Okay, let's have a little look. So the ancient Greek definition of happiness is C, actually.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's striving towards your potential. Now, there are some reasons for that. So with each of these, we got a little bit of a did you know? So the definition is all linked to, there are 4 sustainers of happiness. So one is around our optimism. One is around that social connection that we need and want as human beings. One is the way we perceive stress and those challenges and the resilience we have in life towards those kind of challenges in life, and how we create meaning on things, and that it goes back to that choice. We have a choice in the way that we create meaning against something. So, and there actually is no single definition. So for all of you that put B, that's absolutely right as well. But it is kind of really relative to the person who's experiencing it. A lot of the work that we do is based on the research and the science behind it. And scientists define happiness as the experience of having positive emotions. And that's pleasure combined with deeper feelings of meaning and purpose. So when we have meaning and purpose in life, it kind of drives us. It carries us forward. It gives us something to kind of look forward to and to work towards. So for those of you sort of cynics out there in the big wide world, anyone thinks that happiness is just all kind of yellow smiley faces and emojis and rainbows. There's a little bit of that, but there's a lot more deeper too.
Fantastic.
And well done for saying C, by the way.
Okay, so question 2. More than a decade of groundbreaking research in the fields of positive psychology and neuroscience has proven that A, when you become successful, you'll be happy. B, when you become happy, you'll be successful. Or C, there is no link between happiness and success. Go. 5 seconds.
I would say B again.
Mm-hmm. B's the magic answer, isn't it?
What's everyone else saying? Facebook user B.
Some B's.
B.
B.
Yeah, everyone's back with a B. Heather saying C.
Oh, got a C.
I like people that like to stand out in the crowd.
Yeah, Quinn C.
Okay, 5 seconds is up, so I'm going to move you on to reveal the answer. It is actually B. When you become happy, you'll be successful. Let's explain why we have that answer. We all have different views. And it's true, actually. I mean, you're obviously one step ahead already, because there's a formula that most people follow, or certainly have followed in the past, that if you work really hard, you'll become successful. When you're successful, then you'll be happy. That's certainly kind of how I was brought up, and in my early career, that's what I thought would happen. It was only when I realized it wouldn't necessarily be that way. That's kind of the reason why the Happy Learning Company come about. The research, there's been lots of research into this, and you see there the book, The Happiness Advantage, that really inspires us. The work of Sean Acker proves that the relationship between success and happiness actually works the other way around. So we now know through this research that happiness is the precursor to success, not merely the result. So happiness and optimism are scientifically proven to actually fuel and enhance performance and what you achieve. So this is kind of referred to as the happiness advantage. If you're interested, definitely check that book out. It's really insightful about some of that scientific research and these 7 principles that he talks about around how that happiness can really fuel success. That was question 2. Well done, those.
Yeah, that was good.
B. If you want to email us later, those that said C, tell us your thinking. That would be great.
Okay, question 3. According to scientific study, positive emotions, they flood our brains with feel-good chemicals. There's a whole range of feel-good chemicals. But which of the following is the chemical symbol for serotonin? Is it A, the top one, B, the middle one, or C?
Ooh. I don't know what any of these little scribbly things mean.
Who listened in their chemistry lessons? That's all.
So,
or can remember.
My brain is going to say that it's either A or B because of the background in your presentation. It nothing to do with it.
Very good.
But that's where I'm going to go with it. So I'm going to say A.
We've got a mix of B's and C's actually.
Yeah.
Shall we repeat the answer? So that is the serotonin. Jen, I love your kind of powers of observation. Got your Jason Bourne kind of picking up on all. If we were there in person, I don't know if you can see that, but I have the tattoo on my arm as well.
Yeah,
and Helen's got it on her foot, and it's just a way to ground us and remind us what this is all about. So it's fantastic. So a bit of background to that. So, once again, the science behind it. Scientists have sort of discovered there's more proof that happiness can lead to success when they examine the effect of positive emotions on our brains. Because when we do things that sort of like we laugh and so on and so forth, it releases these happy hormones. Serotonin is one of them. There's dopamine, oxytocin, endorphins, and you activate the brain more. And when we do that, when we feel good, when we're kind of producing these chemicals, we actually have a higher level of productivity because it doesn't even feel like work sometimes. We just kind of work bigger, better, faster, and happier. And our performance is much better as a result. And kind of happiness is more impactful on the performance of the brain than pleasure. So pleasure is a real short-term thing that we have, whereas happiness is more long-term. It's kind of the thing, going back to our purpose and meaning. And going back to you talk about Andrew Barton, when we set up Andrew Barton Salons and did the induction, we really looked into the difference between that short-term effect of going into the salon. And, there are all brilliant stylists, and the pleasure came from having my hair cut. But what we looked into is the long-term happiness, building the loyalty, kind of making people want to come back. And that's all down to kind of creating an amazing experience that people remember long after the act of having their hair cut. So that's happiness. So the more you can create that happiness within yourself and others, the more kind of that will drive you. So yeah, it's good.
I hadn't even thought about this on the client level. Like I'm thinking team, that's where my brain's going, but actually that's amazing that you can cross this into your client journey and weave it throughout their little touch points.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So
what we're aiming to do is create kind of that kind of, with all those touch points, when you put them together, you're creating an amazing happy experience for people that produces all of those hormones, because they last within your body, and then the more they come back, the more they feel them, and you've got a loyal customer for life. Right, next question.
Just kind of linking from that one, actually, because they do say that you can't create customer happiness without employee happiness, because they deliver it. The happiest employees have been found to be how many times more energized than their unhappy colleagues? Is it 2 times, A, B, 4 times more energized, or C, 6 times more energized?
I'm going to say 6 times, C.
Why are you saying that, Jem?
Because I just think that when you're truly happy, and like I've been through points in my life where I've been truly unhappy and truly happy, and thank God, whatever you believe in, the universe, right now I'm in that happy zone. And I am so productive and so energized, and I jump out of bed and I'm there getting things done, or as I would say, getting shit done, and like really crushing stuff, and that adds to my happiness. I feel that I'm achieving. So I would imagine that that's not just me, that's quite normal for humans. So I'm going to say C.
Yeah,
love it.
There's a mix of B and C, but I think majority of people are saying C as well. So
okay, let's have a look. Very well, Jen is on fire this morning. Let's look at why, and I love your example, Jen. That's what I love about your example is the fact that you've created that, because it's not easy, right, to feel like you want to jump out of bed in the current climate and get shit done. It kind of is, it requires an effort on your part to create that. So we're not saying it's easy, but if you can create that happiness, certainly for yourself and influence it for others, if you're a leader. This study was fascinating, actually, the Science of Happiness by the Eye Opener Institute. And they did conclude in this research that the happiest employees take 1/10 sick leave of their least happy colleagues. They intend to stay twice as long, with retention being a big challenge, it has an impact on retention, twice as productive. So, that's an incredible, we're always looking at productivity as a measure of success. That comes from happiness. It comes from an engagement level. And the bit that we were talking about earlier, happier employees deliver significantly better customer experiences. If they're happy, they're more likely to deliver an experience that makes customers feel happy in lots of different ways. So that in research in itself creates a great business case for happiness at work, or happiness at work.
And I think every salon owner in the room right now, and actually probably every single stylist as well, everyone watching this is thinking, that one's not happy, that one's not happy, because they're your Debbie Downers. They come into work and moan about everything. From the minute they walk through the door, it's, isn't it?
It's tough, isn't it?
We're all starting to be like, bing, bing.
And we often, when we have those people in our teams, we often just get a bit pissed off by it, especially if we're more naturally happy and positive and optimistic. We start getting a bit pissed off by it. And it's actually like, our invitation to you is, have a think about why they're behaving like that. What's going on?
Yes.
There will be something going on, whether it's workplace or otherwise, rather than just getting fed up with them.
Yeah, and it's not to say that they're not happy because of work.
Yeah.
Just like Helen just said, it could be something at home that's contributing to that. So, tread very carefully with those people, because they're still valid members of our team, but it's just an eye-opener as we're going through to start thinking which ones are happy and not.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Great. So question 5. In an extensive research study undertaken over the last 10 years, it's been scientifically proven that there is a link between happiness at work and, drumroll, A, pay and benefits, B, human potential realization, which is a bit of a mouthful, or C, workplace design. So there's a link between happiness at work and pay and benefits, human potential realization, or workplace design.
B.
That was a quick. You just love B today, John.
I love him, B, and I think my answer is B because if you're at work and there isn't a clear designed path for you, and you don't feel that there's a reason for you to grow inside of a company, then you're in a dead-end job, aren't you?
You are, absolutely. Yeah. So I think most people agree with B. So should we have a look at the answer? It is indeed B, absolutely. And it links a little bit back to that kind of pleasure versus happiness as well from the earlier question. And, pay, benefits, reward, bonuses, it's quite short term and quite short lived. Yes, we all want kind of the money. We love it when we get a bonus and all of that. And the same with workplace design, kind of it's lovely to work in a work environment, but we very quickly get used to that. But in terms of long-term happiness, it is human potential realization. Just explain what we mean by that. So the research was done by Fontys University, and they showed a strong correlation between those two elements of happiness in the workplace and human potential realization. And so to capitalize on happiness at work, we should help raise the awareness of employee talents. So there's something around someone's individual awareness. So as a great leader, as a great kind of manager, you're constantly kind of enabling them to see their strengths, their qualities, their talent, what they're great at, because that boosts confidence, and that kind of boosts, and it produces those hormones and those chemicals that we were talking about earlier. It makes them feel good, and their performance will kind of get better. Their productivity will be more because they feel valued. So there's that individual awareness piece, which we want them to bring to work kind of more and more. And there's that kind of sort of piece around kind of their day-to-day work, that living my calling. So right at the beginning, we said about having a purpose, having meaning in what we do. And so it's kind of putting yourself on center stage and thinking, what difference am I making here? You know, as an individual, as a human being to the world. You know, and it doesn't matter what job you do, it doesn't matter kind of what you do in life. You know, I think if you can kind of pinpoint and articulate the purpose that you have and the difference that you make, there's your calling. And as soon as you've got that, that's a driver of your own happiness, because you feel like you're making a difference. So both raising that individual awareness and knowing what my calling is, my purpose, they really have been proven to be great impacts on individual happiness and the happiness of those around us. Correct.
Okay, so question 6, inspired by research into mental health and well-being, the 5 key drivers behind employee happiness are widely considered to be A, inclusion, brand, salary, culture and management. B, salary, work-life balance, relationships, diversity and opportunity. And C, connection, fairness, empowerment, challenge, and being inspired.
C.
Wow, B again. B.
No, C.
Queen Bee today.
Queen Bee's in the house.
Yeah.
No, I'm not B, C.
You changed your mind? Why are you changing your mind?
No, I said C. It's C.
We got
Cooker.
new scenes.
I believe that the other two have got salary in, and I don't believe that salary is the be all and end all. Now, I'm going to slightly contradict myself here, because when people say that money doesn't drive them, it does. But it's the things that they can buy with the money. It's the house that they want, or the going on holiday with their family, or buying lovely food for their children. It's what that money can buy. And so I believe connection and empowerment and inspired and challenges and for me, that's what drives me.
Yeah.
I guess it goes back to that, you know, I don't think we're saying salary isn't important here, but that whole thing of pleasure versus happiness, of, you know, that short-term fix of, of course we want money to buy what we want to buy and to survive and live, but is that a driver of long-term sustainable happiness? Let's have a look. There's C. He's on fire. Let's have a look why we said C. Friday Works, they used to be known as Happiness Works. And actually they were commissioned by the British government to look at how they could improve well-being, so how as a nation to improve it. And they discovered lots of drivers of well-being and, you know, positive mental health generally. But then what they done is they took that research and thought, well, how does this apply to work? So back in 2016, they started to extend the research into the workplace to look at what are the actions that contribute to building happy teams. And they revealed those particular drivers behind employee happiness. But also that gave clues to business owners, leaders like ourselves, of how we can actually nurture a positive work culture. A lot of their initial research in mental health and well-being did conclude that, you know, happiness is very personal, and, you know, you have to take control and ownership over your own happiness. But in a workplace setting, leaders, business owners, managers, supervisors have a lot of influence and a lot of power over creating the conditions. So I guess our question, you know, to think about is, you know, how well are you tapping into those 5 drivers? Because they can really kind of catapult the longer term happiness of your team. So quite interesting.
That's where education comes for me, because it's motivating me, it's inspiring me. That's why, like, I never have that TV on in my house. You know, I prefer to read and educate myself, or be on my computer learning something. You know, and I suppose that's the reason why, because it does create my happiness. I'm always learning and educating myself.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's funny, our strap line is don't look for happiness, create it. You know, because you can spend years trying to find it or waiting for someone else to kind of give you it on a plate, but it doesn't really happen.
No. And all I ever hear is, it makes me so sad when people say, oh, I'll be happy when I fill in the box, when I buy the house, when I get the husband, when I have children, and I just think, choose to be happy now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Waste your life until you get the thing you want, which isn't going to make you happy, because you're going to want something else.
Yeah. A lot of the part of the, that underpins and underlies the sort of drivers of happiness is that kind of ability to live in the moment, to kind of free up space to be spontaneous and kind of just have a bit of adventure in your life and all of those things, not kind of be so kind of guided and driven down a certain path. Just live it in the moment. Right, question 7. One of the most effective ways to boost your own happiness is it A, commit random acts of kindness, B, buy lots of nice new things, as we just talked about, Jen, sort of people to do that, or C, get a puppy or kitten.
Hey!
See.
Oh no, trust me, that creates happiness for 5 minutes until you're having to potty train a puppy.
True.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're getting flooded with those.
I suppose that A is like that paying it forward, isn't it? It's like if you create happiness in someone else's life, the universe absolutely brings that back to you. But when you give out, same energy comes back to you.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, there's the answer. Drum roll.
So drum roll is A, commit random acts of kindness. Obviously, there's some reason and science behind that. So kind of research has shown that acts of altruism, which is giving kind of to friends and strangers alike, it decreases stress, number one, which is a good thing, and strongly contributes to enhanced mental health. So delivering great service, for example, has been proven to provide that feel-good factor. And the more we kind of do, times we put a smile on people's faces, actually, that creates a feel-good factor in them, but it makes us feel really, really good too. And the more we do it, the more it goes back to those chemicals in our brain. Other things that you can do to capitalize on happiness advantage is just keep having keep having positive experiences. It goes back to those drivers of connection and kind of going out with your mates, sitting on the grass. I know we can't do that at the moment, but it's those things that kind of have those positive experiences that put a smile on your face. Put positivity into your surroundings. Exercise is a great one. Exercise is great for making us feel good and creating those endorphins. And exercising your strengths and skills. It's lovely to hear you say, Jen, that you don't put the TV on. You like to read. You like to educate yourself. You like to be on the computer. And the more we kind of do those things, kind of and build and develop ourselves, they make us feel really good, and they give us that happiness advantage in life. And the more we do that, it kind of shrinks the need to want more money, the need to kind of have all of those other things, because we find our comfort and our happiness in the things that are free in life, basically, which is great.
Yeah, and I believe that if I'm learning stuff, then I'm passing that on to my team. So my team are upgrading their skills all the time. So it is, I suppose it's part of that paying it forward, isn't it?
It is absolutely paying it forward. And, in creating that ripple effect, one person at a time, goes back to that having a calling as well, and the difference that you can make. And if you just consciously do something for somebody, we don't see the effect of that, but that could create them to do something and that person to do something. And before you know it, it just takes that one person to kind of create this huge kind of impact around the world. So, and Dolly's saying kind of this is especially important right now in lockdown. And I definitely personally felt it myself. I wrote a poem actually, which I kind of posted on social media, but it was about my feeling of, it's great that we can connect digitally, but I'm missing kind of the ability to kind of connect face to face, to give my mum a hug, to kind of, all of those things that as human beings that personally I crave, and we do, because we're social beings. We need that social connection. And I've really noticed I have to kind of work harder to have the happiness advantage within myself in this kind of time of lockdown. Really hard. So.
But my kitten's pretty cute though on the picture, right?
They do give you a lot of pleasure though, puppies.
That's my bear in the picture. He's very cute. He brings me lots of happiness.
It's an absolute nightmare. She's realised she can just fit through the bars in my and she keeps taking herself off to the park.
Very independent. Worse than kids. Okay, question 8. We'll crack through this quite quickly because I'm conscious of time. So, according to a recent survey by the ILM, what percentage of managers admitted that their mood often adversely affected the workplace? Is it 20%, 40%, or 50%?
Oh. So that admitted, probably A.
Yes, like I'm not admitting to that.
Yeah, but I know myself, if I walk through those doors and I've had a bit of a morning and my face is down, the entire day is wiped for the team because they feed off that energy. So I have to lift myself no matter what is going on in my day already. It's like, morning!
Pretty tough, right? What are other people saying? What do other people think?
There's a lot of A's, B's, and a few C's. Right up, actually.
Yeah, I guess depends on. I think the admitted bit is interesting, isn't it? Let's have a look. C, 50%. So they obviously studied managers who were prepared to be honest, I guess. Interestingly, another 40% admitted that they showed regular favoritism as well. We find this really interesting of, this kind of, I spend time and look after my favorites and I ignore the others. So I'm not so positive and optimistic with the others. This comment, 1 in 5 people in this study said they didn't see the point of building trust with colleagues. I could just, it's a bit of a shocker, really. Trust is at the heart of any great relationship. And, we're not in the old industrial revolution now where you can't have relationships at work. I'm not talking about the fruity ones. Even, well, you could probably have some of them as well. But, the relationships that you have with your colleagues is key if you want them to be happy and at work. Happier leaders are thought to be more successful leaders. So the happier you are, the better you're able to create success for others and also handle the success for your life. You'll be better equipped to create that really positive, happy culture and to make your employees feel valued, listened to, and challenged. This happiness at work isn't just making things easy for people and not being challenging. We know that people want challenge in their careers. They want a sense of purpose and a sense of contribution. So those things are really key. So how did you do? Is the question.
I think they did very well. Jen was on our queen bee over there. Amazing.
Jen, you're going to have to do a bit more work with us because you've done pretty well there. Okay, really conscious of time. Thank you so much for doing that. We hope that you got a lot out of that as well as had a bit of fun. Thought it would be a different way to kind of share some of the power of happiness at work with you. If you have to leave, we will post this and we're happy to share this film. This film's actually on our website. But this Catherine Temple, if you haven't already heard of Catherine, she really was a big trigger and a huge inspiration behind us setting up the Happy Learning Company. We'll let you watch the film for yourself, but actually it was when we saw this whole film, we're only going to show you part 1, but when we saw this film, Andy and I, first of all, cried hysterically together, and we realised we need to do this. So big inspiration. She's the success psychologist and founder of the Happiness Foundation. So we'd like to share part 1 of this film if you do have the time to stay on. If not, we will share it. Enjoy.
He said, Kath, we knew each other before we were anybody. And I said, we know the bones of each other, which is a gorgeous thing. I remember somewhere that the ancient Egyptians believed on the gateway to heaven you asked 2 questions, just 2.
I love that thought, that all of life came down to just two things. Really simple things. The first question, like say we're asked is, have you found the joy in your life? Have you found the joy in your life? And the second question is another simple one. Has your life brought joy to others? I love that. I love the simplicity of it. I love it. Some people light a room up as they walk in, but some people light the room up as they walk out. I know which one I would rather be. I'd rather be the one that lights up the room as I walk in than lights up the room when I leave. There's a tribe in Africa called the Ubuntu. And their greeting, when we greet each other, it's in the Western world, it's with a handshake and a momentary grasp that says a lot and a look in the eye. And it says it takes 5 seconds for a bond to be formed, but often we look away as that bond's being formed. And in the Ubuntu, they hold both hands and they gaze very deeply into each other's eyes. And when one feels ready, they say, I'm here to be seen. And when the other sees them, they say, and I see you. How do we see? Who do we see? How does it make someone feel when we do see them? And I think that changes everything for someone when they're seen, when they're known and felt. It's a feeling in my heart. Like you know them, like you know them in their heart or in their bones, as we might say up north. It's like you see what there is to be seen. The true risk is in not seeing, because then all of that richness passes you by. All of that spectrum of emotion, all of that feeling passes you by as well.
Okay, so all teaser there, part one.
Wow.
God, it gets me every time. I've seen it about 1 million times and I still choke up.
It was watching that film, you know, the where she talks about the ancient Egyptians and they ask you 2 questions. Have you found joy? And do you bring joy to others? That's the moment that the learning company was created, because we couldn't answer yes to both of those questions. We love what we do. We thought we brought joy to others, but there was something missing for Helen and myself. And you know, we truly believe that when you have found joy and bring joy to others, that's when you really light up the room when you walk into it. And that's kind of the basis of all the work that we do, is helping people shine in that way. You know, to be kind of, to have that joy, to have that confidence, to walk into the room and everybody notices them. You know, they literally light it up like a bright light. So yeah, had a super effect on both Helen and I, and that's why we're here today with the Happy Learning Company. So
wow, what a story, guys.
So we've got to leave you that question, you know, there for yourselves. You know, how can you bring joy to yourself and others at work, especially during these times? You know, we can't reach out and hold hands, but what else can we do is key. We're going to start wrapping up. We're conscious that, as always, we've gone over time. We're so passionate about this topic, but we wanted to provide you with a little bit of a tool. Again, we'll be posting this up for you to download and to use, but our gift to you, I guess, is to take some time to reflect, you know, on happiness at work, your happiness at work, the happiness of your team at work, and how you can lead with happiness. So we're going to give you that tool there to sort of reflect on. And again, if you've got any thoughts at all, please share it through the group on Facebook, share it with us. But yeah, no, that hopefully that's a tool that can really kind of get you thinking and kickstart your own personal journey with happiness at work. You know, and moving forward, we're really hoping with Jen, you know, we can create some leading with happiness training sessions for anyone that wants to really learn more, some of the skills and techniques of how you can lead with happiness. We've got some great techniques and some really powerful things that you can do to take your own happiness to another level, but also when we talked about that power of happiness, how can you really get the benefit of that? So that's what we want to do. And I guess, we just want to say a massive thank you to Jen taking, the time to kind of meet with us and giving us this opportunity to share our passion. This is just how to get in touch with us if you want to. But thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Like, you gave me goosebumps. I had a lump in my throat. Yeah, honestly, that was amazing. And thank you to Andrew for giving me the introduction to you guys. Andrew, huge love to you as always. Thank you so much. I think when we're done and we come off air, if you and I can stay quickly and just have a quick chat about how we can bring something to the group and work together. And do some training for the guys that want to get involved, because I just think, now more than ever, your own happiness is key to be able to move forward and lead with happiness. So absolutely, we need to be doing something as a group to enable everyone to realise their own happiness and lead their teams with that too. So guys, thank you so much for being here. Happiness with all of us, and you guys, it's Friday, so I'm not going to see you now until Monday. I'm sad about that, but Helen and Andy will be putting up that free gift, that happiness survey that will go into the group for you to download and use that with your team. They will also put their last slide up, or some just a text, actually, probably, that would be easier for you to be able to get in contact with them if you want to. But we're going to come off stage now and have a quick chat about what we can collaborate on to bring to you guys so that you get some happy learning too. Much love to everyone. See you all on Monday. Helen and Andy, thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Look after each other. Bye.